Patrick Mahomes once said, "I'm a baseball player at heart. That's just who I am." That's interesting words from a guy who's won 3 Super Bowl MVPs, am I right? But there's more to the story than meets the eye. Let's look at Mahomes' baseball roots and stick around to the end of the video to find out how a random snowstorm changed the course of sports history and led to one of the most remarkable careers the NFL has ever seen. And if you like baseball content, consider subscribing, but only if I earned it from you. We're close to 1,000 subscribers. Would love to hit that soon. Appreciate you all. Growing up, Patrick was surrounded by baseball. His father, Pat Mahomes Sr., was an MLB pitcher for 11 seasons. As a kid, Patrick spent countless hours in major league clubhouses, rubbing shoulders with stars like Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. His mom often described him as a baseball fanatic, always with a bat or glove in the hand. Picture a young Patrick, wide-eyed, soaking in the atmosphere of big league stadiums, dreaming of following in his dad's footsteps. And while Patrick Mahomes was growing up around major league clubhouses, he was also developing into quite the baseball player himself. In high school, Mahomes was a standout on the diamond, showcasing the kind of talent that had scouts drooling. His arm strength was off the charts, regularly hitting 90+ miles per hour on the radar gun. But it wasn't just his velocity that turned heads. In 2014, Mahomes pitched a no-hitter against future MLB pitcher Michael Kopech. Imagine that, 2 future pro athletes facing off in a high school game. Mahomes didn't just win, he dominated, striking out 16 batters and allowing just 1 walk. Despite this clear talent, Mahomes wasn't a top draft pick out of high school. The Detroit Tigers selected him in the 37th round of the 2014 MLB draft. And yes, you might be thinking, 37th round? Not too impressive. But Mahomes had made it clear he was planning to play college football, so most teams didn't even consider drafting him at all. The Tigers, though, saw something special. Tim Greavy, their area scout, said he's the type of prospect where you say, let's get our uniform on this guy and figure out the rest later. So what if Mahomes had focused solely on baseball? According to Greavy, he could have been a much higher draft pick, potentially going into the 3rd or 4th round, and that's a significant jump from the 37th. Imagine Mahomes on the mound in the major leagues. With his arm strength and athleticism, he could have been a dominant pitcher. His fastball would have likely ticked up a few more miles per hour, potentially hitting triple digits. And given his creativity on the football field, it's fun to think about what he could have done in the infield had he developed. But baseball wasn't the only sport calling Mahomes' name. He was a dual sport athlete in college, playing both baseball and football at Texas Tech. And for a while, it seemed like he might try to pursue both sports. But then, in February 2015, Mother Nature decided to play a role in shaping sports history. A massive snowstorm totaling 5.9 inches of snow hit Lubbock, Texas, disrupting Texas Tech's baseball practices and effectively shutting down a city that doesn't have any snowplows. This is a city that averages around 4 inches of snow for the entire year, and this might not seem like a big deal, but it forced Mahomes to make a choice he'd been avoiding. About a month before the storm, Texas Tech announced their spring football schedule that, get this, was built around accommodating Patrick Mahomes' baseball schedule to ensure he could attend. Hundreds of players and staff working around Mahomes' schedule. His plan was to do football practice in the mornings, go to class, and do baseball in the afternoon and evenings. With all the snow though, the football and baseball teams had to reschedule, which resulted in activities overlapping. These conflicts between the two sports became more apparent, and Mahomes realized he couldn't keep splitting his focus. Reflecting on this moment years later, Mahomes admitted, "I always thought I'd pick baseball." It's a statement that might shock NFL fans today, but it shows just how close we came to never seeing Mahomes on a football field. And his family and friends all thought he was going to be a ball player too. This snowstorm, as random and as insignificant as it might have seemed at the time, set the stage for one of the greatest careers the NFL had ever seen. Now, even as us baseball fans, I know we know the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, but let me just share about 30 seconds of football stats for you, and we'll get back to the baseball portion of your daily programming. After that snowstorm pushed Mahomes towards football, his journey to NFL stardom began at Texas Tech. He didn't just play football, he rewrote the record books. In one game against Oklahoma, he threw for a mind-boggling 734 yards and 6 touchdowns, setting NCAA records for total offense with 819 yards in a single game. But Mahomes wasn't done. In his final game at Texas Tech, he put on a show against Baylor, throwing for 586 yards and 6 touchdowns. It was clear that this wasn't just a college phenomenon. Mahomes had the potential to become something special at the next level, and the Kansas City Chiefs certainly thought so. They traded up to grab Mahomes with with the 10th overall pick in the 2017 NFL Draft. It was a bold move, one that would pay off in ways no one could have imagined. From the moment he stepped onto the NFL field, he was a force to be reckoned with. In just a few short years, he achieved what many quarterbacks only dream of in a lifetime career. 3 Super Bowl wins, 3 Super Bowl MVP awards, and 2 NFL MVP titles, all by the age of 28. Now, imagine, if Mahomes had stuck with baseball, he might have been a high draft pick, maybe even made it to the big leagues. But would he have achieved the same level of success? Hard to say. Baseball careers are notoriously unpredictable, and even top prospects often struggle to make an impact at the highest level. His baseball coach at Texas Tech, Ted Tadlock, certainly thinks he could have made it. Quote, as a 9th grader, he was playing on a team where every kid would go on to play Division I baseball. First time I saw Patrick play, he was playing shortstop on that team, Tadlock told MLB.com. And I'm telling you, if you saw him play, you would never forget it. I think he could have been a starting pitcher as a big leaguer, Tadlock said. Tommy Hernandez has run the Dallas Tigers for 30 years, a travel team that has alumni like Corey Kluber, Clayton Kershaw, and a fellow NFL quarterback, Matthew Stafford. And he said, quote, he had all the tools. He was a 5-tool guy at 12. You might think that Mahomes' decision to pursue football meant leaving baseball behind entirely, but the reality is his baseball background has been a secret weapon in his NFL success. It's given him a unique edge that sets him apart from other quarterbacks in the league. Let's talk about his unconventional throwing style. If you watched him play, you've probably noticed he doesn't always throw like a typical quarterback. He's known for his ability to throw from different arm angles, sidearm passes, and even no-look throws. And these aren't just flashy tricks, they're skills he developed on the baseball diamond. Think about a shortstop making a quick throw to first base, or an outfielder gunning down a runner at home plate. These players often have to release the ball quickly from unusual positions, and that's exactly what Mahomes learned to do as a baseball player. He's translated those skills to the football field. Again, his former coach, Tim Tadlock, saw this arm talent firsthand. He remembers a practice where Mahomes threw a guy out by 20 feet from right field that hit the catcher in the chest from about 290 feet away. Quote, he could have been an outfielder as a big leaguer. He had a third base skill set. Whatever he chose to do, he was going to do and be really good at it. It really would have been fun to watch him play third base, Tadlock said. All those arm slots he can throw from? Golly. But it's not just about arm strength. Mahomes' baseball training allowed him to develop exceptional control over his throws. His fastball clocked in the low 90s during high school, which translated into his ability to throw footballs with remarkable velocity and accuracy. This combination of power and precision makes him a nightmare for opposing defenses. Mahomes' father, Pat, summed it up perfectly when he said, "You can tell by the way Patrick plays quarterback that he took pieces of his basketball, the jump throws, the no-look passes, and pieces of his baseball, the different arm angles, and he put it all together in a package in football." It's this unique blend of skill that makes Mahomes such a special player. And despite his success in football, Mahomes hasn't forgotten his baseball roots. In fact, he found a way to stay connected to the sport he grew up loving. In 2020, Mahomes became a minority owner of the Kansas City Royals. It's not just a business move, it's an expression of his passion for baseball. Mahomes even expressed his interest in participating in Royals spring training. While it's unlikely we'll see him suiting up for a major league game anytime soon, it shows that baseball is still very much a part of who he is. It's a reminder of the path not taken, and a nod to the sport that helped him shape into the athlete he is today. Now you might be wondering if Mahomes could have pursued both sports professionally. It's not unheard of. There's actually a list of players who've played in both the MLB and NFL. Names like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders come to mind. These multi-sport athletes are rare, but they've left a mark on both sports. Imagine for a moment what it could have looked like if Mahomes had tried to play both sports. Picture him throwing touchdowns on Sundays, then taking the mound for a baseball game a few days later. Pretty intriguing thought. The demands would be enormous, but if anyone could pull it off, you think it might be someone with Mahomes' exceptional athletic ability? Probably. Of course, we know that's not the path Mahomes chose, and given his success in the NFL, it's hard to argue he made the wrong choice. But it's fascinating to consider how close we came to seeing a very different version of Patrick Mahomes' career. Patrick Mahomes' journey from potential MLB star to NFL legend is a testament to the value of diverse athletic experiences. His baseball background didn't just shape his unique throwing style, it gave him a competitive advantage and adaptability that's rare in professional sports. This multi-sport approach challenges the trend of early specialization, showing how skills from one sport can translate to success in another. Mahomes' story isn't just about football or baseball, it's about the benefits of keeping your options open and following your passion, wherever it leads. And as we watch Mahomes dominate on the gridiron, year in, year out, it's hard not to wonder, what kind of career might he have had if he stuck with baseball? Would we be watching him pitch in the World World Series instead of throw touchdowns in the Super Bowl? It's a fascinating what if that we'll truly never know the answer to. And we'll never know during that snowstorm-filled week in Lubbock what really made Patrick Mahomes choose football. If you ask those close to Mahomes, you'll get a bunch of different guesses as to why. His answer, it's simple. I'm a quarterback. If you like this content, consider watching more below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.